Welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. We are talking basketball now, where Guyana and Jamaica are set to clash in El Salvador moments from now in the pre-qualifying tournament for the 2023 FIBA World Cup. All teams will play 4 games in 5 days. 5 CONCACAF teams will compete in this tournament: Guyana, Jamaica, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and hosts El Salvador. From here, the top 3 will advance to the Americas phase in July and one step closer to the Basketball World Cup to be played in the Philippines, Japan, and Indonesia in 2 years' time. On Thursday's first night, Guyana were beaten 84-73 by Nicaragua, while Jamaica toppled Costa Rica 69-67. Paulton Gordon is with us now via our video link. He is the president of the Jamaica Basketball Association. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, and it's obviously a pleasure to have you on. So Jamaica got by Costa Rica by 2 points on Thursday night. What are the pros and cons, takeaways from that?
Very, very close game. We were quite satisfied with the win, though, because it has been quite a challenge to get the group together for this activity. No training sessions at all. A high percentage of the players coming in from the USA. So we just converged on El Salvador a day and a half before, and hit the court last night.
Tell us a bit about Jamaica's experienced coach, Rick Turner, who has collegiate and NBA experience with the likes of Seattle Supersonics, and he's worked with George Karl.
Right, he has worked with George Karl. He has international experience as well. He has coached in China, and he has coached at pretty much all levels in the USA. Rick has been coming to Jamaica for the last 17 to 18 years to do a development camp. So he's quite familiar with the Jamaican setting, quite familiar with Jamaican culture. And when he approached us to be a part of what we were doing in Jamaica basketball, we didn't hesitate to invite him to be one of the persons who can steer us in the right direction. So we're pretty comfortable at this particular point in time. We just need to start building on this.
How has he been able to rotate the squad with only 1 training session before the tournament?
Well, rotating is well, in terms of that, he has been in touch with the players for the last 2.5 weeks. In fact, we only heard that we are part of this tournament 2.5 weeks ago. So all the logistics, all the pulling together has happened in 2.5 weeks. Still have some back office issues that we're trying to sort out. But Rick has been communicating with all these players. He understands how they play, when they play, their strengths, their weaknesses, and he has been sending them workout plans. So he has, from a theoretical standpoint, he has an idea of what he wants. We just needed some more time to really nail it down and get the team chemistry where we want it.
Yeah, Paulton, I gather that some of the key players would not have been available for this fixture. Can you talk to us more about that?
Right. There are about 5 or 6 players that Rick wanted to invite. They are actually playing in Europe and with their clubs. And unlike football, there's no specific window for international competition. And so it was difficult for them to get released from their clubs to represent Jamaica. In fact, we thought this qualifier would have been in July, because what happened is that a lot of these tournaments were postponed last year because of, as we all know, COVID. So there has been a backlog of events. We should have played in the CBC, the Caribbean Championship, to get to this point. And when we heard what was happening, because FIBA indicated that there's a huge backlog, we need to get these tournaments out. And we insisted that we need to play, since we missed the cycle 4 years ago. And 2.5 weeks ago, they said, okay, Jamaica is in. So it has been just a tough logistical, just trying to pull the logistics together to get this make this happen.
Yeah, Paulton, about the format, and I know the top 3 from this group will advance to the Americas qualifying in July, but I know the Bahamas, US Virgin Islands, Antigua and Barbuda, and Barbados are higher ranked in the world than than Jamaica and the Guyanese. Is it that those 4 teams are going to be playing have already advanced to the later stage, or are they not in?
I know like Puerto Rico, Bahamas would have advanced. I'm not sure about the others for July. Not too sure the format is for July as yet, but I know I agree with you. They're ranked higher, and that is mainly because we actually missed this cycle of that World Championship. For the last cycle in 2018-2019, Jamaica didn't participate at all. So this is the very first time Jamaica is back in international competition for the men's team now almost 5 years.
Well, the Caribbean on a whole, Paulton, has had real issues executing sporting projects since COVID-19, hit us in March of last year. Can you talk to us about getting this team together, the travel and the COVID-19 protocol that they would have had to endure to get this project off?
Yeah, it has been crazy. It has been crazy. We got our final confirmation on the 27th or 28th of March that we are in. By then, they wanted us to do a preliminary test. Everybody should have done a preliminary test. We missed that window. Then they said everybody has to do a PCR test, not the antigen test, 10 days before the tournament. So that was like April 2nd or 3rd, thereabout. So we got our guys, the 8 or 9 guys from the 9 different cities in the US, the local guys, the local management team. We got them organized to get that done. Then we were told that we have to do another PCR test 3 days before arriving into El Salvador. It so happened that some of those test dates are they actually fell on weekends when Jamaica had lockdown, Easter weekend, that sort of thing. So that again was a little bit of a challenge. The guys then did all of that. We submitted all our documents, uploaded all those documents. When they arrived in El Salvador, they had to be tested again. And they have to be tested every morning after each game.
Yeah, sounds a pretty strenuous exercise.
It is.
With regard to the funding, because I know most local associations are cash-strapped. How much or how far did you have to dig into your coffers to get this team away?
It is a little bit costly, but luckily we were proactive as it relates to this. Rick Turner created a 501c fund, and we were getting some donations from overseas, and we were getting some support from Jamaica Olympic Association in terms of this as well. So for the most part, we are covered. As you rightly said, there are a lot of extra costs. One of those PCR tests is 18,500 Jamaican dollars, and they have to be done. So it's costing over $200,000 just for the testing locally.
Paulton, the big thing for me to ask you, and I'm so happy to be speaking to you now, is to talk about Kofi Cockburn. I saw him firsthand about 3 years ago, yes, or more, at the Basketball Without Borders clinic in the Bahamas. There were hundreds of youngsters from all around the Americas there, and he was the standout player. He's a product of the SportsMax digital NBA Jumpstart program, as you very well know. And
right.
He's someone that I saw as having a tremendous future. Update us on his progress and his prospects with Jamaica.
All right. As you rightly say, he's in terms of his overall character, it's someone that we're looking forward to lead in Jamaica in the near future. I saw him at the digital Gumball Camp 2019 when he came to speak to the kids, and he was he was so engaging. In terms of his play, he's still a raw talent. He has grown over the last 2-3 years, but he's still a very raw talent. His upside is really, really huge. And we're looking forward, as I said, to him to ultimately be leading Jamaica over the next 2-3 years. We want him to get into that NBA, settle down as soon as possible, and then have the other youngsters who are emerging to coalesce around him. But like you, I'm very excited about his progress. and his upside and potential.
When we watched him at close quarters for about a week, Paulton, what he had, raw power as you noted, he could score however he liked because he was just so much more powerful than everyone. But what the coaches were telling us was that in terms of ball handling on the floor to get himself into good positions, that needed some work. That was about 3-4 years ago. How is that aspect of his overall game now?
That has improved tremendously. Clearly that has improved. He's clearly a leader in Illinois. His putting the ball on the floor might be still a little bit of an issue. And I think a lot of the pundits want him to grow a little bit more. Most persons are saying declare for the NBA this year. Some persons I've spoken to said, let's give him one more year and see how he grows. But as I mentioned before, he has tremendous upside, and we're looking forward to him reaching his full potential shortly.
I heard you say that pundits are saying he should declare or not declare, but what are you saying? Do you want him to go one more year on the vine or to go to the NBA as soon as he can? Go now.
Personally, I want him to go. I want him to go to the NBA. I think he has enough there. As you know, it's kind of important to get selected in the first round. I think it's very important. And if he thinks he can get selected in the first round, I'd go for it.
Paulton, talk to us about Warren Williams from Manhattan College. Of course, he has been a standout in the competitions that he has taken part in. What can we expect from him?
Well, coach is very high on Warren, and you saw him last night. He produced. He also is a very good potential. We're looking forward for him to do great things for Jamaica over the next few years. That's part of the issue we have not playing internationally for the last 4 to 5 years. A lot of these guys internationally, they are just wetting their feet. We only have one person on that roster who has represented Jamaica at the senior level. So that's part of the issue. That's part of the concern that we have. But these are intelligent young men, and I'm hoping that it can all come together.
Definitely. How hard is the process, though, to get, these college stars to represent their country?
How hard is it?
Yeah.
We have a database of 60 plus 70 players who are eligible to play for Jamaica. Probably 50% of them are in Europe. And Rick keeps in contact with them and all the guys who are based in the USA. He has 2 or 3 coaches that he works very closely in Jamaica: Ron Robinson, Coach Sullivan, Coach Stumbo. So he, in terms of monitoring what happens locally, he has his eyes on the ground. But he has that database, which we discuss pretty often, and he keeps in touch with these guys, to test where they are, what are their thoughts in terms of representing Jamaica, and how passionate they are about coming here. So, because the communication is open, it has not been an issue, and pretty much that's why we were able to pull this squad together in 2.5 weeks.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much, Paulton, and of course, best of luck to Jamaica. We'll be following.
Appreciate it. We're looking forward to winning tonight.
Definitely, of course. Thank you so much. That is the president of the Jamaica Basketball Association, Paulton Gordon. George and Lance, can Jamaica do it?
Well, they can. Jamaica has always had outstanding individuals, but it's funny that during this COVID period that the issue of assembling a team and training adequately has come up again, because even in normal times, this has been one of the difficulties that the Jam Rockers have faced.
Yeah.
And I'd just like to say, before Lance comes in, that if Kofi Cockburn doesn't make it in the NBA, I know nothing about anything, and I don't know sports, and I don't know. You can ask our cameraman who went with us, or videographer and editor, Sean Williams.
Yeah.
You can ask our producer, Ramon Stewart. Ask both of them when you get the time. If this young man doesn't make it to the NBA in whatever shape or form, then we don't know anything about anything in life.
Wow.
Well, I heard Paulton talking about him growing some more. I think he meant growing from a developmental standpoint, because he's 6 feet 11
the man
inches,
is a Hulk.
7 feet tall. So I didn't think he meant physically, did he?
He is a Hulk, and he is as nimble as someone much smaller than him. if he doesn't make it, then I don't know that my name is George Sylvester Davis. I swear to you.
Wow, George, he really has your support. I'm looking forward to see him shine.
No, Mariah is the real deal. Believe us. Believe
No,
us.
Believe you.
That's Evander Holyfield, George.
All right. More basketball coming up right after the break.